Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's afternoon. It's Holly Hanrahan, makeup artist here, and I thought I'd jump on and do a tutorial because I haven't done that for a while. So I've done my base and a little bit of, I'm just gonna make sure there's no sort of glare coming through the screen. So I've done my base and all I've done is a little bit of bronzer and blusher, which I might vamp up at the end. And I thought I'll just do a few nice colours from the Carnival palette here. This is by Stacey Marie. This has a new version coming out, and this week they're going to announce the dates that the new version of this particular palette is coming out, and I've seen it. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is amazing as well. I'm only going to do some of these sort of tones today because I'm going to have to wear it to the supermarket, girls. So I thought I'd just do a nice little soft glam look, and you can see, maybe this one, and you can see how I kind of build up from light to dark to create a bit more of a bigger eye, a bit more of a glamorous eye. Thank you all for joining. Let me know if you're here. It'd be nice to have a comment, say hello. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to just get my hair whipped back out of my face because it's distracting. And then what I think I might do is just pop on a little bit of a brow. Now I haven't really located any brushes ready for this, so I might have a little search here and there. I'm sure you're used to that with me. So I want my angle brush. Where are you? Could use that one. Here it is, hiding. So how are you all today? Are you going anywhere nice? What are you up to? You working from home? You working back to work? Let me know. I like to be nosy what you're all doing. Where's my angle brush? I'm going to have to use my other angle brush it's a bit smaller. Oh no, here it is. So as you know, I just do my brows with a bit of brow shadow. I'm going to use a kind of brownie tone, like my hair colour. Ah, I miss you too, Mel. Mel was in my July group. It's sad, isn't it? I miss your supportive comments every day. Now, my mirror is so dirty. Let's see if I can get a cleaner one in a palette somewhere. I'm a bit disorganised. I thought I'd just jump on. I'll use this mirror. So yeah, I used to go live every single day in the July group and use everyone as a sounding board for my life. And this is a really nice palette as well. This is the Origin palette from Beauty Bay. It's got some quite nice colours in there, and it does point out like it says exactly where you need to put what, which is helpful. Just taking the dog to the vets for boosters. Oh, I bet he hates you. Not happy to have to go in on her own. Oh, poor little doggy. So a little bit of a brow, just to add a little bit of definition. And I'll use this mirror if it's not too heavy. So I want to make sure that I'm not covering my face as I do it. Sometimes I do cover my face with the mirror, I've noticed. Just going all the way underneath first, just creating a nice little bit of definition. And I do that on both sides. I'm not happy using this mirror, it's too heavy. I might have to change mirrors. So still not allowed to do makeup treatments on anyone. But you know what they say, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And thankfully for me, I make my own magic in life. Oh yes, my little pity party I had the other week. Yeah, thank you. That was, oh God, I just had it was an overwhelming week. My dad left for Ireland on a one-way ticket. And yeah, and an expensive error. But hey, there's no point in, it's the kind of thing where you have to find the lesson in it, don't you? You have to find the lesson, otherwise what is the point of it happening? And the lesson I found is I'm not going to bother doing any more advertising with Facebook at all. I'm going to let the power of word of mouth, and you guys are amazing at sharing a video and commenting, and even if you just do a love heart on a post, even an angry face, it changes the Facebook algorithms, and you know, it's organic reach, isn't it, that is the way forward. So yes, I lost the money, but I saved myself a lot of money in that decision. So yeah, it's all good. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I'm going to put an eye base on with my shader brush. I'm just going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Light as my base. Now, if you've got quite oily eyelids, concealers can sometimes not hold up as a base because they can be a bit too porous. So switch towards like a Paint Pot by MAC for that, because that will help you withstand the oiliness of because it's quite thin skin on the eyelid. But with me, I've got quite sort of dry skin, and I think the older you get, the thinner the skin feels on your eyelids. So sometimes those heavy bases are a little bit too, if I put my mirror in front of my face again, sometimes those heavy bases are a little bit too much for my particular eyelids, but they might be all right for you if you're lovely and young and taut. But you usually find you have to put something on that kind of sets quite matte, because otherwise your eyeshadow colours might not come out that true, and your eyeshadow might crease in the middle as you get warm throughout the day. So it's good to put on something, even if it's just a bit of your own foundation over the lids. Give your eyeshadow something to stick to. I mean, some foundations, if you're using like moisturising ones that are like BB creams, they don't really do much as an eye base. It's a case of finding maybe a nice concealer that you can use an eye base as well. And this one, it kind of is quite thin, but I know it sets to the skin and it sets quite matte, and it gives a bit of coverage. That's what you want. I'm just going to see if I can let a bit more light in on both sides of my face. It does tend to get a bit of a glare in the sunshine from my window. So if you're watching, if there's any good tips that you get, just give a love heart. It just lets me know that when I go back sometimes to watch, which I hardly do, but if I do, it just lets me know that I might have said something helpful to you guys. Okay, so we've got our lovely base on, we've got our brows on, and next I'm just going to run a very light eyeshadow. This is a white matte by MAC. It's called Gesso or Gesso, Gesso, and I'm just going to use quite a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use that underneath the brow, and then I'm going to use that just on the inner corner, through there. So underneath the brow, that little blend on, and on the inner corner. the side of the nose, just really brightening up that area, because in me I'm quite indented in there. So sometimes I like to really give it a brightness through here to bring my eyes to life, make them look really open, because I've got quite deep set eyes there. And just joining that with the brow. So I've really kind of opened up my eyes. Because we're going darker with the eyeshadow, we can use the same brush. So I'm going to pick a transition colour from the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival palette by Stacey Marie. So I'm going to go on with the colour Basic. It's this lovely kind of rosy brown, peachy rosy brown. And I'm just going to make sure when I put this colour on that I'm going to start at this edge, and just get a little bit on, because we want it to go on quite evenly through our transition colour here. We're just going to put it through the socket to about 3/4 of the way. I'm leaving that section free. Circular motions. This brush is by BH Cosmetics. It's the V5 brush. It's quite an inexpensive one. I quite like it for transition, because I don't think transitions should be like a stripe in the socket. They should go up kind of halfway onto your brow bone. I'm just going to wing that upwards a little bit. And I want it to be quite high up, because my brow bone's quite prominent, so I'm going to sit that over there just to balance the eye and leave that last little gap of white at the top. We can always go back with a small little brush and bring the white back in afterwards. But you want that lovely fade to your transition colour. This is so important. And look, the difference, it's just lifting my eye compared to that eye. I'm just going to give it a second coat. Just to intensify that transition colour. And don't worry if it goes a bit low on the lower lid, because you can always add a little bit of base in there again. So, other eye. I'm going to do the other eye a bit quickly because you've seen it already. I'm just starting to get the colour off onto the eye, and then you can just use the windscreen wiper motions. Just your brush wants to find the socket of your eye, so let it just run itself through, and then you can use it like wispy motions just to help wing it up if you've got that kind of eye shape. I'm helping that blend now, the brush's remnants on it rather than the full colour on it, up onto the brow bone, leaving that little bit of a gap. Just blending and blending and blending. Everything's so smooth and so cloudy. Going on with a bit more colour. So unfortunately, any sort of makeup training, personal makeup training, is underway at the moment, so I can't even suggest that you join one of my groups, but there is something in the pipeline that you can maybe join if you were really interested in getting lots of tutorials and product knowledge, and when new products drop, and information and ideas about makeup. And that's my membership program, and I'll be in touch about that if you're interested. Look out for the posts. So it's a year-long membership with lots of videos and products, and tidbits on makeup. It's get very exciting. Right, I'm going to go in with a darker colour now, really dark. So this sort of colour, this is the colour Liquor. Liquor, as in the alcohol, in the Stacey Marie Cosmetics palette. And I'm just going with a slightly smaller brush, and where I'm going to just tickle the outer corner and allow the colour to come off the brush. Just gently start staining the eye. We're only putting it in a very small place because then we can blend around it, you see. And that's going to go right into my socket. So just use this brush to get the colour off the brush and onto the eye. Just keep blending and blending because you don't want this bit to be patchy. So you do have to kind of like tap the excess away. You do have to kind of really pack it on because you don't want a patchy area here. And you see, I'm going to blend that stripe away in a minute. This is just sitting on this area. And then with the other brush that I was using before, then we're going to blend that out. Just merge those two colours together in that area. So, back in with Liquor on the other brush, on the other eye. And I think what people find is quite scary is when they do use a darker colour on their eyes, because, you know, it is quite scary to go on with a darker colour, because will you make a mess? Now, the reason I don't make a mess is, one, I'm using good quality eyeshadows that don't have a lot of talc in them, so they don't fall down everywhere. Two, I've tapped off all the excess, and I'm using the right size brush and a good brush. This is the Zoeva 221 Luxe Crease brush, and I'm just allowing it to kind of go on and stick to that base, so the base is kind of grabbing it so it doesn't fall down. So those three things are so important. It's good quality eyeshadows, tap it off, use the right size brush and just use it in the concentrated area that you need. Get it on the eye first and then start blending the outskirts of it. Don't have to win the war. It's kind of like you just get it on first. And tap and tap and tap. And that way you get this lovely packed on colour with no see-through patchiness. And you can always blend the edges with your other brush. I hope that helps. Just going to blend out this edge. Okay, so just blending out the edge on the lower lid as well. Oops. So there's not that really strong start. I'm just going to go back in with my concealer and use a flat brush. Something like this one. This is the Morphe N224. It's like a concealer flat brush like that. So it's got a nice flat tip to it. And what I'm going to do is just going to pop a little bit of concealer out on my hand and take it off my hand with my flat brush. And what we can do is just create a slight half cut crease on this inner corner. We're just going to go back in with this because I've allowed some of the transition colour to come down here. So I'm just patting a little bit of concealer back on to create the shape of my lower lid in a much more defined way. Because you can use your finger to just take away any residue at the edge. Now this is quite a soft cut crease because on my eyes it's quite hard to do a really sharp cut crease. I'm just using a clean brush to smooth that out. So you see, it's just helped us give us back that area that I've let the other colour leak down onto. And then the other good thing that when you do this, if you take the time to do this over your eyeshadow work, is that when you come to put a nice sort of shiny metallic on, it's got a base to grab to. So the other thing I've been up to is I've been doing some coaching for makeup artists, and the reason that is working so well is because, goodness me, I don't know if any of you guys have done a course where everyone's at different abilities, and you go in, you could be learning anything, and the teacher is trying to teach, 12 people at once, and they all have different abilities. They don't have different capabilities. That, everyone's at a different level. And I've always find that sometimes courses kind of teach you almost about how much you actually don't know about a subject, and then they chuck you out underprepared for the job that you wanted to do it for. And so yeah, I'm just finding that it's a phenomenal way for makeup artists to learn how to go into business. It takes 4 weeks, and I get them not only makeup ready to work on clients, because they receive so many looks and tutorials from me, but also they get all their business systems up and running with me because I've done it. So there's so much hand holding during that time, that God, if I'd have done that makeup course when I was young, not young, I was 30 when I started, but when I was younger, I would have hit the ground running and not made so many mistakes and not lacked so much confidence. So if you know a makeup artist or an aspiring makeup artist that you think, a course has kind of chucked them out into the big wide world and actually they're really still lacking confidence, you need to put them in touch with me, because my coaching program, I'm not just saying this, there's so much value. It's ridiculous. On my website, it's £657, but there's an early bird offer if you book in August for £497. And it, as much as I am a makeup artist, if you have a beauty business or you're a hairdresser and you're setting up freelance, I could coach you on that as well, because there's so many similarities to our business, for working freelance. So just bear that in mind. I've got a post on my website, hhmakeupartist.co.uk. I'll put a link to that post that describes the coaching a little bit. But if they inbox me, I can I can give them lots of information about how it works. Because there's Zoom calls each week. There's also practical sessions, 2 full days of makeup tutorials in person as well. So I'm going to use, tag a makeup artist or an aspiring makeup artist if you think they need one-to-one coaching and setting up their business and flying. I've got this colour called Hush. And this is gorgeous. It's this really lovely kind of rose bronze. I'm going to place that over the dome of the eye, on where we've just put all of that concealer. And this is going to really pick up the light. I'm going to take that all the way down, nearly to the corner, but just leaving that last little bit of corner free. pick up another. So as you can see, I use a flat brush and I pat it on. And this is it's almost like a foiled eyeshadow. It's got so much pigment in it, it's very shimmery. And that's just sitting all the way on the lower lid. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes to just give a bit of brightness. And then I'm going to do my under eyeliner with some eyeshadow. Just using that concealer to kind of crisp up and clean up that shape towards the brow. And I'm going to use a small little brush, something like a pencil brush. Now, a little pencil brush would be something like this one. And I'm just going to use a soft brown underneath, almost like 3/4 of the way, so that I don't look too heavy. And then just use that transition colour in the middle. So to swap it to something a bit lighter in the middle. And my little white as well, use that right on the inner corner under there. So it's quite a nice sort of smoky, soft liner underneath. So let's get the top liner on. I'm going to use my Maybelline black gel liner. Comes in this nice little pot. I think it's about £8 with a angle brush. This is the 317. And then we can create a nice definition to the top of my eyelids. Going just through the lash line, brushing through those lashes, getting them nice and black. Not worrying about shape at the moment, just getting really close to the lash line. Just a little tick up. So it just helps all the colours pop, doesn't it? Because it's black. Thanks for watching, guys. I could watch someone else do their makeup for hours. I'm so fascinated with it. Cool, let's get some mascara on. Can't have those blonde fluffy lashes. Might just pop a little bit more bronzer and blusher on quickly. This is the MAC Global Glow. So it's got quite a nice sheen to that. And a little hint of, I've got itchy nose, a little hint of the Peach by Rimmel, which is in Coral Glow. Just on the apples of the cheeks. This is quite pale. It just shows up now and again. And then my highlight, I'm going to use MAC Soft and Gentle. I'm going to use my little brush. This is the 1 It's a face, oh my goodness, it's rubbed off. It's by Zoeva, it's this one. The letters rub off eventually. And I'm just going to create a little highlight through my brow and on my cheekbone. You make that look so easy. I really struggle with eyeliner. I know it. Do you know what? I've been wearing eyeliner on the top of my eyes since I was 12. So that's 30 years of doing it. And I do find it easier with an angle brush and a gel liner rather than, you know, these liquids. I find it so much easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure my eyeshadow's blended, because I could see that this bit just needed a little help kind of transitioning from colour to colour here. I'm just going back with my angle brush, my transition colour. Sometimes you need to pop that back in. And I like these colours on me because they are so like my hair colour. And just some mascara and some lips to do, and we will be all ready for the day. This is just a Kiko mascara. It's called Party All Night. It's all right. At least I'm not allergic to this one. Just catch some bottom lashes as well. Try not to splodge. Now if you do splodge, just let it dry completely and then you can scratch it off with a little spoolie or a cotton bud. But the trick is just not to try and deal with it while it's wet, because it makes it worse. My little lashes. Okay, let's do some nice lips. Let's do, I have quite a lot of lipsticks. This is just one bag of them. Sometimes I like to do something a little bit different to the eyeshadow. So I think I might do a purple, like a lilac-y purple. So I'm going to use a very neutral lip liner. Just going to put a bit of concealer over my lips, just so that the colour comes out a little bit more true. And then I'm going to use this lip liner called Stone by MAC. I'm just going to grab a little mirror. So I'm just going to add some symmetry by doing my Cupid's bow first, and then I'll create a little marking, oops, not like that. I'll create a little marking underneath so that I can just fill in the sides. So I've got that symmetry to help me guide me. It does sort of. Getting a bit of a fluffy top lip. Get these facial treatments out there, guys. Okay, so that's just lined my lip shape, and I'm going to go on with a purple, which is called Violetta by MAC, and then I'm going to use Lavender I need my glasses. Lavender Whip as well. Lip brush would be good. I don't have one, so I'm just using an eyeliner brush. So I'm just going to use the Violetta one first. And I'm using it in a way that's more sort of ombre. I've gone over. Right, let me get my lip liner back on there. Keep going over the lines. Oh well. Could always put a bit of concealer on afterwards, just to crisp up. So I'm just using the darker lipstick in this shade, and then I'm just going to go on with the lighter one, which is like a lilac. I just want something to clean this brush up on, because I don't want to merge the purples. So this is the lilac-y one. This is called Lavender Whip. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of merge them together. And it just creates a lovely ombre lip. I love purple lips because no one really wears purple lips. And actually they make your teeth look quite white. So that's the final look. Thank you for the last 2 people that managed to stay to the end. I really appreciate that. It's lovely of you. And I just love doing makeup and love sharing all the tips. So thank you. I'll take some photos and post them. I'll take my hair down. Needs a good straighten. Oh, got funny old hair today. It's sticking up. I might have to wet that back down again. That's it. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy your afternoon. And as ever, thank you for your lovely love hearts and everything that you do and your comments. It's lovely of you to interact. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.